Hello Virgo, Sun, Moon and Rising. These are your messages for November. And the very first card that we have coming up for you is the King of Swords. Okay, there's a kind of air of decision making going on in the whole of your reading. Like, I don't know if there's some news coming in or some decision that needs to be made. Either you have to make the decision or you're waiting on some kind of decision. It's a kind of really strong vibe that runs through this reading, but I'm going to get through it. But it's good to have the King of Swords in a situation like that, which is why I kind of rambled on about the decision thing. King of Swords has no problem making decisions. He is maybe an air sign, so that would be Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. Now, it's an underlying energy, so this would be someone very central to the role if it's not you. The King of Swords has gone through tremendous experiences. He has great knowledge. He's able to really articulate his ideas very well. So he has this immense knowledge. He's an advisor. He's a consultant. He can be a lawyer. He is that kind of person that we go to for advice when we're in a sticky mess. So he is coming up here. Now, this could be someone who's giving you advice. This could be someone that you're in a relationship with, someone that you work with, but very central to the situation if he's coming up as an underlying energy, because usually it's your own energy that comes up as underlying. If it's someone else's, they have to be very crucial to the situation for them to come up. So he can be kind of stern. He can be very emotionally detached. He can step away from his emotions and can appear to be kind of cold. That may be you right now. If you're coming up as a king, whether you're male or female, it's going to be because you know your mind. The kings always have mastery over their suit. And swords represent our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, and how we communicate them. So if you're coming up as the King of Swords, you know your mind, you know what you believe in the situation, you know what your thoughts are. But like I said, this could be an advisor of some kind, because you have like the Hierophant coming up later on, but we'll get to him in a little bit. And that's also kind of like an advisor energy as well. What could this person be advising you about? Well, there seems to be some communication. This is at the heart of your reading. We have the Eight of Wands coming up. Now, the Eight of Wands, I always say this, it can refer to messages back and forth, messages coming in, news coming in, shooting in, coming in very fast. This is very quick energy. You can imagine if those wands were actually flying through the air, they wouldn't just be like floating nicely through. They'd be dashing, flying through the air really fast, coming at you. That can be a little overwhelming when it comes at you that fast. This is very quick energy as well. So things pick up very fast. Things might be going really fast at this time. Now, this is not bad energy. It's an 8. So it's kind of stable, straightforward. You can see these are all information. So they're not a mess. Virgos will be happy about that. Trust me, I have a Virgo moon, so no judgment there. But what I'm getting with this is it's coming in very quickly, and that can be overwhelming. If you were standing there and these 8 wands were flying at you like that, that would be kind of overwhelming, to say the least. This is at the heart of your reading. You may get some news, you may get some information, there may be some communication either with a King of Swords type character, or that requires you to become this King of Swords character who's very decisive, understands what he needs to do, make a decision about it, draws on his knowledge. But don't be afraid to get advice. There's this kind of sense of needing maybe to get advice. The reason I say that is we have a lot of swords coming up here. We have the Three of Swords coming up as a past energy. Now, the Three of Swords, this is a card of heartache, grief, pain. This is, it's an awful card. Like I'm not even going to lie to you. It is an awful energy to come up in anyone's reading. Now, what's interesting about this deck, and I say interesting, it's gruesome, pretty gruesome already. Now, this, in other decks, especially in the Rider-Waite, this is usually a heart, right? But the heart here has a face on it. I actually like that in this deck, because what I always say about the Three of Swords, and it's depicted here really well, is that, look, she's awake. Like, even though the heart has a face, she's alive. And the heart is usually, and it depicts what I always say about the heart, that it's red, it's pumping, it's alive. So those swords have been in there a while. The heart's healed over it. This represents old issues that we have. And we don't realize they're there, and we always have them, right? These are the stories that we get told, whether it's about relationships, whether it's about how we get treated at work, whether it's about just how we get treated in life. We all have a story, and it usually comes from our childhood, then our dating history. It's the stories that we pick up. They're not even our stories a lot of the time. They're stories that we've picked up from other people. This represents that pain, that grief, that loss, and it always brings up an old issue. Now, whenever this card comes up, it's an opportunity to remove those swords once and for all. Whatever that story is, heal it. Understand that, so it can't happen to you again. Remove those swords once and for all, because you see them there. When that pain is hitting you, that's when we're able to remove those swords. Some of you may have done that. You may have worked through this, in which case there's been a time of healing for you. Some of you this might be getting triggered now. I mean, if it's coming up in the past, it looks like it's something from the past. Now, we have a great energy coming up in the present, which is why I think most of you have healed that, or you've moved on from there at least, because we have the Ace of Wands coming up in the present. Love this card. The aces are potential for new beginnings, and wands is passion, creativity, energy. This is new projects. This is new passion. This is excitement. This is enthusiasm. Either you're starting a new project now that, has got you all fired up. It's the beginning of a new cycle. There's so much promise when we have the aces, right? It's the beginning. Everything's fresh and new. It's like when you open the first page of the diary or the notebook, you don't know what's going to get written in there. So this is that energy. This is that energy of starting something new, having the excitement, the passion, that spark of just enthusiasm to get on with it. Now, for some of you, it's going to be, if you're in a relationship, it's going to be your spark, your passion for this King of Swords. Don't forget, I said that was Aquarius, Gemini. It could be Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, someone that has those kinds of characteristics. He could be like just an intellectual type, someone who you can't really get a read on his emotions. For others of you, you're starting a project, a new project, and this is either going to be legal advice, a consultant, an advisor, someone that I'm not really seeing business partnerships here, but I guess he could be someone that you're starting a project with, or you're having to be this way. But look at him. He's so stern. Can't imagine him getting all excited about a project, but I guess he could in his own way. He is the King of Swords. He does have emotions somewhere. He just probably wouldn't show them. I guess he's very British in the way that he deals with his passions and excitements. But yeah, it could be someone that you're working with. It's this combination. This is what makes me think that, if this is the underlying energy and he's kind of cautious, like he knows, right? He knows what's up. He knows he has the knowledge to deal with any given situation. So why would he be coming up and then there's all this excitement and this enthusiasm? So that's what's making me just think, there's something about a decision that needs to be made here, just to be a little cautious in how you go about it. And we have another kind of advisor, kind of authority figure coming up as a future energy. Here we have the Hierophant. This is the card for Taurus. These are rules. These are traditions. These can be government rules, institutions of higher learning, those rules, the rules set by a religious institution or a company, a corporation. It's the rules and traditions that we live by. And this can indicate marriage or, a wedding. Because when you get married, that's a ritual, that's a tradition, right? And this is commitment. But we are committed to those rules. We are committed to those rules that govern us. It's conforming to something. Now, like I said, this can indicate authority figures. So for some of you, I'm going to say this is some kind of communication that comes in regarding some kind of the rules of some kind of, I don't know. It could be tax rules. It could be anything like, a company, the university that you go to, the work that you're in, even in your marriage, and that seems strange. But if you're going to get married or, you're in a relationship with someone and you want commitment, there could be communication about that. But there seems to be communication here and it leads to commitment. So this sits above this, right? So there's communication here. There's commitment here. Now, I'm going to come back to that in just a moment because what I have coming up as your advice, and this is what was kind of threw me a little bit. And it makes sense. Like if you remember that card in the past, the Three of Swords, it doesn't really seem to fit in with the rest of the story, right? We're going to come back to this in just a moment. We have, oh God, I hope I had it the right way. We have coming up as your advice the Two of Swords. Now, the Two of Swords is a decision that needs to be made. It can be conflict. It can be argument. It's two opposing ideas. And if you see this person, they have their arms crossed in front of their chest, trying to keep the swords up. They're blindfolded. And this shows that, a decision needs to be made in this situation, because this situation can't go on forever. This status quo, it feels temporary. It feels temporary. And I feel like it stems from this. It stems from this heartache, this grief. Someone hurt you in the past, Virgo. Or pain was inflicted on you. You were triggered by something. I'm thinking it might be a relationship. It could be a relationship, but I mean, even for those, the only reason I'm kind of going off script a little bit, because I usually do kind of go more towards the relationship stuff, is we have the King of Swords, who can be an advisor, and we have the Hierophant there. This all indicates rules, traditions, where we might need to get advice from someone. Like if it's something to do with tax laws or something, you might need, usually I'd say the King of Pentacles is more the tax consultant guy, but the King of Swords, he knows, he has knowledge. There's information that comes in, some energy picks up. Now, there's a decision that needs to be made. But usually I would tell you, take off the blindfold, put down the swords, and go ahead and make that decision. I'm not getting that here. It's because of this card. And this is where, that as tarot card readers, we can't just go by textbooks. We have to go by what our intuition tells us about what the cards that come up. And I'm telling you, this is what I'm getting from this. It's okay not to make a decision, as long as you're aware that you're not making a decision. Get advice if you need to, speak to someone, but there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. There's a reason. This is, like I said, a card for Taurus, which is a sister earth sign to you. Taurus is slow energy. It's earth energy, solid energy, stable energy. But see, if you're working, if you're with a union or something, make sure you have backing. It's kind of that. That's what the vibe I'm getting from this. And it seems to be around starting something new. Starting something new. And if it's a relationship, so if we're talking love and relationship, this person hurt you in the past. Or somebody did, right? And now all of a suddenly you've got a spark and you're feeling passionate and things are going great. I'm not saying it's all wrong. I'm not saying that the person's lying to you or anything. Because it does lead to, there is commitment coming in. This is solid. This is commitment. This is backing that we have. This is we conform to this. And if we conform to it, it's not just we're giving ourselves to it. We have the backing of that. We have to get stability from this. If it's a church, if it's your company, if it's your university, they take care of you too, right? But what's kind of getting me about this is this. I don't feel like, what could you possibly have to decide between this and this? That's what's getting me. We have this Two of Swords coming up, and because usually the advice is what gets you to the future. So it feels like you're not making a decision. Sorry I'm harping on about this, but I'm trying to explain it to you. Because usually what you'll see with the Two of Swords, all of us readers, and I usually say that myself, take the blindfold off, put down one of those swords, make a decision. But it's just the Three of Swords coming up in the past. Why would you go from a 3 to a 2? And you're aware of this. You're aware of this pain. It's not that you're not aware of it. You are very aware of this. Most of the times when the Three of Swords comes and goes, we just leave the swords there and we forget about it. I'm not getting that here. It feels like something new comes in with Wands. You wouldn't need the King of Swords energy as an underlying energy. So you're very aware of this. I think you're right to be cautious. Don't not make a decision at all. What I'm getting with the Hierophant, with the King of Swords, is that it does lead to commitment. It leads to something solid, but just take your time and get all the information that you need. There's a strong vibe of that coming in. Now, there's another reason that I said all that. We have a look at your oracle cards. Check out the first card that we got. And this is Romance Angel. So we get deception. Yeah. It says, someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Now, this is not nefarious. This does not just have to be nefarious. We may wear masks for very many different reasons. I've got makeup on right now. That could be considered a mask, right? So I look a little better, polished up a little bit. We all do that. We all laugh a little harder at someone that we're trying to impress. That's all deception, really. So it doesn't always have to be nefarious. But what the kind of meaning of this is that, like I was saying, that it feels like you're cautious anyway, Virgo. It doesn't feel like, I'm not trying to plant I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not trying to plant seeds of doubt. If you don't have any of these doubts, because that's the crucial card, the pivotal card in this reading is this. You already know. If you don't know, if you don't have any of these doubts, if there's nothing like this going on, then this is not your message. Please don't start doubting. Please don't have, get that thing from someone that, oh God, maybe someone's like cheating on me, or maybe someone's lying to me. It's not that kind of energy at all. And it does lead to commitment, right? We have something solid coming in. This feels like the pause, and it's more, I think, to get you through this. It's more to let you get through it. Like, you might know something and you're kind of overthinking and thinking, do I do this? What do I do? This is telling you it's okay, like, to remove your mask and to say what you really think, and to look a little further, like to dig a little deeper with other people. And the deception may be that, there's a problem. They're experiencing a problem, but they just don't feel comfortable telling you. That could be the deception. So it's always crucial in relationships that both people feel able to kind of air their problems and stuff. And I know people have done it with me before. Like I said, I have a Virgo moon sign. I can be a little critical sometimes, and you get that sometimes, that people don't want to say things to you because they're afraid you're going to like pick them apart. So it could just be that. So if you give someone a safe space to say their thing, it can be something as simple as that, or it can be something, but if you're cautious, if you look into this, you have the King of Swords, you have the Hierophant, there's no reason to say why you wouldn't figure it out or be able to see what's going on there. And you kind of know, Three of Swords in the past, you already have an inkling about this. And here, look, we have number 1 from the Whispers of Love, listen with your heart. And it says, you are listening to what is being said to you, but need to listen with a loving heart. So again, like, what are you missing? What are you missing, Virgo? I just feel like there's something. And again, I'm going to say this again. It's just because I think it's really easy to put out messages, and I'm not responsible for anyone. I'm not responsible for what anyone thinks or what anyone does with these messages. Hopefully they're all adults that are watching this, but that's just how I am. I would not want to give false hope to someone, or what's the other one? Just like to get you all riled up and start doubting things. That's first do no harm, right? I believe that for tarot card readers as well. Even though we're not responsible for anyone or what they do with the messages, we can be careful in the way that we give the messages. And I'm telling you, you already know. If this is coming up in the past, it's hurt you before. This is a pain you are very aware of. If you're not aware of this, this is not your message, Virgo. This may just be for may just be for one Virgo out there that this message resonates with. So that, then this is that person's message. That's the message that came through. So please don't make it fit if it doesn't. Oh God, I'm hitting the mic. Okay, then we have number 29, breathe. I actually love this card. This person's kind of very meditative, chilled out, sitting there. I don't know if you can see it. It's on the side there anyway. This breathe, it's literally that, breathe. Slow down. What do we need to do when things are getting very stressful, when, things are becoming kind of overwhelming, they're getting too much, going too fast? We can breathe. We always have air. We can take air in. We can just stop. We can just breathe. This is kind of like the kind of slow down and take a breath card. That's like, it's going to happen. You're okay right now. All you need to do is just be. Just be. That's all you need to do right now. And I get it. Like, a lot of you listen to this and saying, well, I've got this going on and I've got that going on and so is happening, because you have this at the heart. That's a lot going on here. Things coming in, things going out, messaging, communication. There's a lot going on. But even if you just get that 30 seconds just to stop and breathe, you have to take it, because you'll get overwhelmed. Okay, and then we have this card. We have the Swan Queen. Now, she talks about transformation, intuition, and patience. Now, a lot of her message is very similar to the Hermit card. And the Hermit is your card, Virgo. So the Swan Queen is very much, she talks about trusting your intuition. That's one of the things. This is what makes me wonder about this. You have an intuition about this. This is why you're not making a decision. This is why you're not looking at this just yet. But why? Why are you not looking at it? That's another thing to look at. Now, you have an intuition about it. You have a gut feeling about this. What I don't want you to do is, I don't mind if you don't make a decision just yet. Like it's up to me, but you know what I mean? I don't mind if you don't want to make a decision, but remove the blindfold. Don't be afraid to look. At least look at it. If you then say, hey, not now, or I don't want to just yet, that's fine. But that's what the Swan Queen says. The Swan Queen says, look, she talks about, transformation, intuition. She says, first of all, you look around you, look at how your life has changed. And your life has not just changed. Even if you look around you and nothing's changed around you, it reflects you. You have changed. There'll be things within you that have changed. So you have transformed. That's what the swan does, right? You are this beautiful, strong creature. No matter what you've gone through, it has transformed you. That's what the Swan Queen tells you. And you are not the same person now. You have innate knowledge. Even if you're still in that crappy job, or that relationship still doing whatever it's doing, or whatever is going on, you've got a situation going on. That pain is still there. But is the pain still there? Because this is in the past. This is in the past. And you have the Ace of Wands here. And you have stability and like a commitment coming in here. But it feels like you're overwhelmed right now. And so she's telling, and the other thing that she says is trust your intuition. And it's very funny because the specific thing I think that it says in the book is something like, don't let your analytical mind kind of overtake your intuition. And hey, I have a Virgo moon. I understand that. We can do that. We look at all the details, look at all the facts, need all the plan. This is about, don't let that, it's that analysis paralysis. Don't let that happen. Trust your intuition. I think you're right to pause. The breathe card says that. Listen with your heart says that. There's a lot going on here, but there is advice available to you if you need it. Take a breath and, trust yourself. Trust your intuition.